praise the open casket for teaching me to treasure magic while it lasts. Laughter fades, ushers in sirens, slurs, and mispronounced words. I know it is possible to stay full of wonder, but I worry about losing. My mom is the strongest person in the whole world. A year after I joined my high school dance crew, she and I watched Michael Jackson's funeral on cable, and I knew then, good things die. Beginnings must end. New music will be found, and we will learn to listen to the middle better. The first time I fell in love, a boy who wrote poetry penciled me into an ending. The first time I read my poetry and meant it, I felt all my corners morph into acoustics, my singed outline, now a favorite song. I have loved a dead father for as long as I have been alive. His lack of life, a constant state I cannot change, good behavior or prayer wish into different. I'm afraid of situations beyond my control. My mother, she taught me about love, took me into the living room, gestured to our thrift store and hand-me-down lifestyle, said, "Do you know why it never bothered me to live like this? Because I loved your father. And that means I already had the best I was ever going to get." My mother knows a love without leaving, told me to be as serious with my promises as I am about books. I trust words so much it hurts. Even languages die. There will never be enough completed moments. No one wants to be finished. Praise death if it means there had or has to be life. Praise love for doing the work of the intangible, for making the in-between a dance that bends our aching limbs into somebody's favorite memory. Praise memory for keeping what life will let go. Praise poetry for teaching you where to go from here. I own two of my father's favorite things. His favorite pink sweater and an R&B classic CD. On its front, a black man in sweatpants hovers, one hand touching cardboard, his body suspended. When I am in the music, I become the empty space. I dance with my father. I become untouchable, burn rubber, celebration, real. Once, I was sitting in a car and everyone not black around me heard the beat drop and howled like a pack of infants learning their most bestial cry. I left my skin to rot there. Let them plunge a shovel in the dirt and lift 100 pine boxes. Go ahead, you have my permission. Move with reckless abandon. Call it break dancing. It's lit. Call it something you don't understand. Once, someone not black asked for my opinion on Drake. I don't think about Drake. I'm somewhere trying to remember the story my uncle told, the one about young Tyrone and his brothers breaking a sweat at a club, tracksuits soaking, legs a pile of hurricanes. And the story, my father is the youngest. He busts through the lineup, invokes James Brown, the Godfather. And every pair of hands throws together a beat, and Tyrone, 13 or whatever age my uncle remembers, is a star. To be quite honest, I don't trust anyone not black with hip hop. I don't care how it moves you or fills you with strength or is a perfect release from your confounding stress. I swear I'm just trying to honor myself. I swear I'm just trying to find my father. Did you know that dead black fathers have their own music? Did you know nothing of mine belongs to you? If you want to take the music, take the grief too. You were once teenage purveyor of the white girl gospel, zealous pupil of the hot comb, of oily neck and folded ear. But before that, you were young. You were asked questions about your dead father and your hair, your first conversation with God, faithless. Child of the singing forehead, child of the frustrated wrist. Your mother yelled because you fell asleep on your aunt's pillows and now the whole couch smells of you. Child of amorous pomade, everyone can tell where you've been. Even bus windows remember your name. Child of the curl that stole the wind's fury. How could everything about you not be bursting? Child of the busted chongo, Child of the broken brush, splitting anything weak in half while still blushing for a gentle hand. You are your own lesson in commitment. Child of royalty, of the silk scarf before bed, defender from the cotton resurrected each night to steal you back, every pillowcase a looming field of ghosts. Child of the rained out funeral, child of grocery bag protection. At age 12, washing your own hair is your first act of humility. Listening to your blackness, your first mode of resistance. Child of the eloquent scalp. Which negotiations did you lose today? How many times did you lift your hands in ceremony to unravel and partition? Tell us how you learned to fix, fluff, and plait, to wind and plow, how you were late for class and work doing so, how you skipped breakfast, how you tended, how you greeted a new ancestor in the mirror and let their moans trickle and slither down the length of you, how each strand circles back to its own beginning. Child of inheritance, rejecting gravity and its theorems, the eternal resilience. When the weather catches you unprepared, you curse each raindrop, undoing your labor with its disrespectful weight. But unlike anything else in the world, when smothered in water, submerged in a substance thick enough to kill you, nearly drowned and gasping, you rise, and refusing invisibility, grow to the size all benevolent gods are. So I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter hoodie and walking through campus because the protest is in a few minutes, and the joke is I'm wearing black on black and standing near the Jefferson Davis statue. I mean, I'm standing near the stump where the Jefferson Davis statue used to be. He was removed formally last month. Now only his name remains engraved in stone, and the joke is I'm wearing a Black Lives Matter hoodie standing next to the ghost of Jefferson Davis, and of course, the campus police are driving by at this exact moment. And I turn away as though black isn't a vacuum of light, a gap left by loss, a space entirely devoid of matter, a glitch in the sunlight, as though the police will not detect the ghost they left me, as though I'm not always wearing blood on blood, and because of the ghosts or the heat or their own preference for intimidation, the police keep driving. I take the back way to reach the protest anyway, which isn't even that large, which is being monitored by police, and I take a paper with the chants. And the joke is, there's at least 10 chants, and that's a lot to remember for someone who was late to the protest and walked past the ghosts of slave patrollers, and we begin marching. And white students in collars are laughing. And I am offering my lungs to the hungry spirit among us, trying to hear the chants in the back of the procession to make sure we are chanting the same thing in the front, and we are moving through the campus streets. And cars are honking, and when we reach Guadalupe Street, the city bus drivers, all black and tired, are waving, snapping, hollering, hallelujahing out the windows, and we are not met with tools of violence, and I don't know what to make of that. And this is not my first protest, but it is the first protest in which my grief did not become me. Instead, my body leaned toward my roommate who organized the thing. And looking over, I watch her dance, arms wound in freedom, a good gospel releasing from her limbs. And she smiles at me, and I join, and the chanting is loud and immovable. And nobody dies on the street, and the ghosts pull this brief life from their palms and offer it to me. And the joke is, one time I went to a protest wearing a Black Lives Matter hoodie, and I danced with my roommate, knowing full well I was hated, and knowing full well I was loved. Curanderismo means healing. Once, a few white men invaded my country, their horses' jaws flooded with war in the thick skin of my people. They spent 3 years killing and bargaining their way to power. The Spaniards captured the Aztec capital in 1521. Did you know that Aztecs, unlike other native groups, still live in the capital today? Every dark person is taught to recognize the soft wrists of cowards, to observe and lie in shadows, marking a return, or at least a survival. So here we begin. Curanderismo, a folk healing indigenous to Mexico which arose after the conquest, the union of Indio, Spaniard, and African traditions blended to cure susto. What medicine do you know that can lift the wounds of the dead, return the living their souls? What language besides this can name historical terror in one word, vaporize it in the light? And let them make their egg jokes, whisper about witchcraft. They know nothing of touching the world without an impulse to own. And they call us dirty, as if being covered in the earth is wrong, as if the dirt has ever held our throats and threatened to kill our mothers. The point is, it takes love to name the damage on one's own body, to say, I deserve freedom here, too. I am a woman who is afraid to say depression. I'm learning the uses of rosemary oil. I'm trying not to be embarrassed about my Spanish. Divided country girl. A girl who washes herself with poems and finally gets to the therapist. Lucky that out of 50 counselors, I'm assigned the one who is also a curandera, who tells me, Ariana, it is okay to not know the names of your ancestors, to have lost the specifics. The Western world would have you believe that only what is written is true. We never really lose our heritage. Do you feel them in the room with you now? Do you feel your feet still on the ground? I will teach you a song and you may sing it however you please. The melody is not important. The feeling is. It's how you've known all along that you are connected, that you know what you need, that you have never been alone. 3. The prayer of the 4 directions began in the temples of Tenochtitlan. After Cortés and his men burned the temples, they built Spanish churches in their place. I read in a book my curandera gave me that energy is preserved, that to this day, Aztecs returned to the site of the temples, faced the east, and continued to pray. The lesson, if you are alive, you are descended from a people who refused to die. Nothing is more sacred than you. Thank you.